afternoon, New Independence Network. This is our second update today because, well, I have a lot of stuff in my crawl that we have to get to. This one really aggravates me. Barack Obama gave $400 million to Iran. $400 million in cash in exchange for the release of 4 U.S. hostages. Hostages that they took. Well, first off, we don't negotiate with terrorists, but Obama's already destroyed that. They traded Bergdahl for the release of Bergdahl for 5 terrorists that we were holding in Gitmo. And all that does, the reason we don't negotiate with terrorists. People say, well, why don't we do that? The reason we don't is because terrorists are doing what they do because they want something in return. The same reason that Democrat terrorists do what they do. Black Lives Matter made a list of demands. That's what terrorists do. So they've made a demand. We have people and we want ransom or we want something or freedom or whatever it is they ask for. And once you give them what they want for doing something illegal, they will keep doing the illegal thing over and over. It's like having a child. If your child wants a cookie and throws a fit until you give him a cookie, the next time the kid's going to say, that means if I throw another fit, maybe I'll get another cookie. And there you go. You cave, and once again, you've now the kid has already thrown another fit. Well, terrorists say, if I kidnap these people, we can get. Let me think. We just kidnapped. We had Bergdahl. What if how do we do this? Oh, what? Obama gave us 5 terrorists for. Wow. Okay, let's try this. We have 4 American hostages. What can he give us? We don't need terrorists anymore. They're expendable. We want money so we can pay more terrorists, so we can buy more weapons, so we can fund more terrorist attacks on our enemies and the United States. How about that? That's what they're doing. So Obama gave them money. They're trying to deny it now. They had some press release came out. It's misinterpreted. It's not what we did. We don't believe a word. We don't believe a word anymore. If you want your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Obama, you've lied to us for 8 friggin' years. We're done. All you do is lie. That's all you do. We're not lemmings. We're not like your Democrat lemming terrorist sympathizer liberals who love what you say and hinge our lives on your every word. We don't believe you You could tell us that the White House was burning to the ground, and unless we were actually there to see it, we would not believe it for a second. Just don't believe it, because everything you say is BS. Our economy was so bad on George Bush, I couldn't fix it in 4 years. Remember that one? 2012 election? Economy was so bad, I couldn't fix it in 4 years. Clinton comes out and says, the economy was so bad, I couldn't even fix the economy. But Reagan fixed a worse economy under Carter in 3. In 3. By 1983, the economy was humming. Why else would he have been reelected in a landslide? He lost what? Minnesota to Mondale. That was Mondale's state. That's all he lost. Every other state, all 49, voted for Reagan because he fixed the economy the right way. And we had economic prosperity for the longest time after that. It was tremendous. Never before seen prosperity like that. Obama couldn't fix it in 4 years because he didn't know how to fix it and didn't want to fix it. He's a liar. Obama, you're a liar. We don't believe a word. But see, it's more than him being a liar. There's an issue that people ask. They say, well, he gave this money to Iran, and Iran funds terrorism. Yes, they do. They're a terrorist state. Yes, they are. And people ask me, they say, well, is Obama, what is he? Is he a terrorist or a terrorist sympathizer? Well, that's a good question. I really don't know. And that's a shame to me to actually have to actually consider that question. Someone would say that about someone. Well, nah, you're being silly. You're conspiratorial. Forget it. Now you're being silly. But then I stopped and thought about it and went, wait a second. Let's add up. Let's follow the breadcrumbs of the Obama candidacy, the Obama term, the reign as supreme leader of the United States. A couple things that I just jotted down. He went to Venezuela and he embraced Chavez, Hugo Chavez, who's a terrorist, who's a tyrant, dictator. He embraced him, made friends with a dictator who is ruining his people and kills his enemies. He went to Cuba and embraced Castro, who's a tyrant, dictator, who destroys his people. And then he opened the path to Cuba to help Cuba's economy. Let's step back to Chavez. Here's an interesting little thing that maybe you guys didn't know. Remember when there was the BP oil leak in the Gulf of Mexico early in Obama's first term? What did Obama do? He shut down oil drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay. Now, stick with me on this one. He stopped it, banned it. Not allowed to drill in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, he hasn't lifted that ban. It's been 8 years. He hasn't lifted the ban. You go, well, wait a minute. It was a temporary ban. Well, no. And here's why. He puts the ban on them. The companies have to make money. So they're going to move their rigs somewhere else. And I believe they moved them to China. But they moved their rigs to another source so they can get oil. Who is drilling, though, in the Gulf of Mexico? Not our portion of the Gulf, but their portion of the Gulf. Who's drilling? There is a company called, and the name escapes me, but this one company who got the contract to drill in the Gulf, is allowed to drill, happened to be Venezuelan and conveniently owned by George Soros. How about that? If I had the name, I'll see if I can't tweet it later on. But there was a company that, they were drilling in the Gulf, and it's a Venezuelan company. So how about that? They shut down the Gulf of Mexico, so American and British companies leave, but then Venezuela has access to the oil supply. How about that? Interesting. Just something to think about. Might go hand in hand with him embracing Chavez. Just thinking about it. He goes to the Middle East and he bows to sheikhs. Why would you bow to a sheikh? Anybody from a Muslim leader? Why would you do that? You're on equal footing with this person. It's like when I was an officer in the Army, me saluting another officer of the same rank. You don't do that. You just don't. So why would you bow? You're making yourself subservient to them. It's as if you're actually beholden to them or you are being led by them. See, that's what makes you scratch your head when you see these things. He helped to stabilize the Middle East, and now it's in the hands of terrorists. Think about that. Syria, Libya. Now, they had terrorists in charge of it anyway. Muammar Gaddafi was in charge of Libya, yes. And while Libya was under his control, he was scared of the United States. When Libya attacked a Marine barracks, the terrorists attacked a Marine barracks in the 80s, Reagan bombed the living hell out of Libya and really wrecked Gaddafi. Gaddafi scared him straight and said, okay. And once 9/11 happened, Gaddafi was the first one. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And then when Bush went after Iraq, they go, oh, no. Even Iran said, oh, no, we didn't do anything. we're good, we're good, we're good. And they pulled back because they were afraid, because they didn't want the same thing to happen to them that was happening to Iraq. So we kind of had them scared. And the leaders that were in place at that time, while they talked a lot of bluster, they couldn't back it up because they didn't want to upset the power of the United States. It's factual. Well, guess what? Now, yeah, Gaddafi was a tyrant, but they just let it happen. Oh, it's democracy. And Hillary Clinton is right there in the middle of the whole thing. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing. It's democracy. No, it's not. There was no plan to switch them over to democracy or to help with that. You let the lunatics run the asylum. And terrorists took over. And we didn't bat an eye. The Muslim Brotherhood took over. ISIS, all those clowns took over. Took over Libya, took over Syria, took over Egypt. They're taking over Turkey. These are allies. Oh, some of them were. Turkey was. He announced taking troops out of Iraq. Told them, hey, we're leaving our troops on this date. So if you want to attack us, this is the perfect time to attack Iraq. And ISIS took over. Now here's the problem, though. You see, ISIS is the wild card. That's why Obama called him the JV. ISIS wasn't really expected. The Muslim Brotherhood is what they wanted to have take over everything. That's the way it was. The Muslim Brotherhood was taking over everything. They were going to be in charge of all of it. And you were going to have the entire Middle East be one giant Muslim caliphate. And I mean, from India all the way over to Israel, it was going to be one huge Muslim nation. And it's on its way to being that right now. Hillary Clinton is complicit in the entire thing. And Muslim Brotherhood was supposed to run the whole show, pretty much, right? ISIS came in, and they were the wild card. And they didn't expect that to happen. So now they're fighting back. Because people say, he's fighting back against terrorists. No, he's fighting back against ISIS. ISIS, yes, are terrorists. But they're kind of an offshoot of the terrorists. They're like that crazy person who, when you're protesting something, they go a little bit overboard. Yeah, well, this is that group that went overboard, who got a little too carried away. And they're getting a lot carried away. So they have to stop them so the Muslim Brotherhood can control everything. It seems like that's what people say. It could be the case. It sounds plausible, which is scary. But when he telegraphed his withdrawal from Iraq, he opened the doors for ISIS. You don't, again, as a veteran, you never tell your enemy what you're going to do. You just don't. If you just withdrew from Iraq, you withdrew. Should never have done it in the first place. Bush wanted a 20,000 troop contingency force put in there, and that was actually that was in place. That was the works. That was in the works. And then the general said to Obama, 20,000 troops are going to stay here. And he went, oh, no, I want less than that. He went, oh, they said, okay, how about 10,000? No, it's not. There's still too many. He said 7,500. No, that's still too many. He went, how about 3,000? He went, well, okay, 3,000 will do. And the Iraqi government said, what? 3,000 is not going to do a damn thing. If you're going to leave 3,000, that's an insult. If you're going to leave 3,000 here, you may as well not even waste your time. Get out. Forget it. We're good. We got it covered on our own. Well, they didn't have it covered on their own. 2,000 ISIS took out their 90,000 or 900,000 man military. Wrecked them very quickly. Pushed them back. So Obama didn't know what he was doing. He doesn't care. Well, why? Why would he do that? Why would you do that? Why would you not leave a contingency force in Iraq? Why would you telegraph when you're going to pull your troops out? That makes me scratch my head. Why would you? Which makes people ask the question, is he a terrorist sympathizer? I don't know. That's just the question. He shuns Israel. Now, who doesn't like Israel? They are one of our most staunch allies. Supported us forever, right? They're all by themselves over there. Now, for those of you who don't know history, Eisenhower negotiated creating Israel, the state of Israel. Personally, I would have given him part of Germany, just because. But they gave him Israel because that's where the Holy Land was. But then you got your Palestinians who got up in arms because they took part of their country that they had occupied, that they had taken from them. Blah, blah, blah. Well, ever since then, every Muslim, they can't stand Israel. Are you kidding me? Every Muslim nation over there hate them. Every Middle Eastern country hates them. Wants them gone. But Israel's so damn tough and have staunch allies like us, or did, until Obama took office. All of a sudden, Obama says, I don't like Israel anymore. And he tries to control the election to get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh, yes. Did you not know about that? Yeah. We actually paid money, there's proof of that, to try to sway the election to unseat Benjamin Netanyahu as Prime Minister of Israel. And Obama was complicit in that. He had his hands in it. The Obama administration did. Of course, it all goes back to him, but, people pretend like he's untouchable. Plausible deniability all the time. But yeah, it's funny because it correlates to Russians are trying to get involved in our elections and everybody's going crazy, but it's okay when Obama did it to Israel, interestingly enough. But why would you do that? Why would you want to get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu? Why? Why would you want to take away the power from Israel? Why would you side with their enemies? I mean, the enemies don't like Israel. The terrorists don't like Israel. And you're siding with the terrorists, which makes me go, see that? Makes you ask the question. But then he goes further and he lifts the sanctions from Iran. We're going to lift them. And it's a deal that they didn't discuss. He entered a treaty without talking to Congress, which is unconstitutional, but Congress are a bunch of cowards because the Republicans in Congress are cowards, the establishment rhinos. The conservatives, they want to fight, but the establishment rhinos don't. They're afraid. We can't do it. We can't go after Obama. Why can't you impeach him? Because there's only one reason why they don't impeach Obama never did. There's only one reason. It's 3 words. Very simple. You know what those words are? First black president. That's it. That's the only reason they have not impeached Obama. Because if they do, then it'll be racist. You're racist, and they're so scared of the racist moniker. Instead of fighting back against it, they cave, and that's been Obama's MO the entire time he's been president. The minute you criticize him, he wants to be treated equal. I'm equal to every other president. He wants to be treated like every other president, right? Treated the same until you treat him like every other president has been treated, and actually better than most of them have been treated. And the minute you criticize Obama, you're racist. You're racist. How could you say those things about the first black president? It's been said about every other president before him. There's nothing new. Why does he get special treatment? Because he's a black president? Who cares? We're over that from day one. Congratulations, it was historical. It's done. Now he's a president. Now he has to live up to the office and do the job. But they never impeached him. So he says, oh, you're not going to impeach me. I'm going to get away with murder. And he did. He went over to Iran and said, we're going to lift sanctions on Iran. Opens the doors for Iran. It frees up $150 billion, something like that. And opens up the door for them to get nukes. They'll have nukes. I mean, they already have them. They pretend like they don't. They do. Or they're pretty close to getting them out there. And once they have a nuke, they're gonna become a real threat. And whoever's the next president is going to have a problem with his hands. Or her hands, God forbid. Because if it's Hillary Clinton, forget it. Israel's gone. If it's Hillary Clinton, Israel's gone. She has no backbone or ability to stand up to Iran. She hasn't done it yet. She's complicit in this with Obama. She does everything Obama wants her to do. She does it. She's responsible. She's a co-conspirator, if you want to call it that, accessory to the crime. I don't know, she's like a sidekick in the destruction of the Middle East and the overtake by the Muslims, the Muslim Brotherhood. Any chance of democracy is totally gone. And Obama just let it happen in Iran, though. Just let it go. You know they're gonna nuke Israel as a matter of time. I mean, he pulls our missile defenses out of Turkey and several different areas. Tried to tell Israel to stop putting up anti-nuke devices, or Israel said, "The hell with you." So they can protect themselves because they're the only ones that are protecting themselves now. Because the United States sure doesn't have their back. Because Obama doesn't like Israel for some reason. Doesn't like those Jewish people in Israel. I wonder why. And that's a question I have. Why do Jewish people vote for Democrats? Why? Why? What in your mind, after all you've been through, after the suffering of the Jewish people, you've seen tyrants, you've seen them destroy people, control your lives. It's happened. Maybe you're just numb to it now? Maybe it's too long ago? Oh, Spielberg loves to tell the stories of the Shoah and the Holocaust. Well, that stuff's happening to Christians now in the Middle East. And what happens? What do? I'm going to vote for Obama. Why? He hates Israel. Democrats hate Israel. They pretend like they do, and they only like your money and your vote. That's it. So why do you still support them? It's like why blacks still support Democrats. They haven't done anything for black Americans. Nothing. Nothing. All they did is make a lot of black Americans reliant upon the government and stick them in ghettos and build them crappy slave plantations in the inner cities. Really is what they've done. But they still vote for them. It baffles my mind. I mean, if anything, Israel, they're going to go to Israel and they love the Mother Israel. And when Israel's threatened by terrorists and these stupid liberals who are Jewish support Democrats and Obama. How can you do that? It's unreal. It makes no sense to me. Makes no sense. So, I think it's just brainwashing or stupidity. I don't know what it is. I really don't know. Next thing he just did recently. So we've already, again, Iran's got nukes. Then he funds Iran $400 million. Just happened yesterday. $400 million in cash. So, to release four prisoners, 4 hostages. Well, wait a minute. Shouldn't those hostages have been released with the lifting of sanctions on Iran? Shouldn't we have just said, "Oh yeah, okay, here's the deal. I want those 4 hostages." No, we're not going to get that. We're not lifting sanctions. And now with you. Oh, blah 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 blah. No. That's fine. You're not getting. You're done. But no, Obama wouldn't do that. We want the 4 hostages back. You're not getting them. Oh, okay. Well, tell you what we'll do. We'll do this deal. It's a legal deal, but we'll do it. And then later on, we'll give you $400 million to give us 4 hostages. Unmarked bills. Whatever. Unmarked bills. It's not American money, so it can't be quote unquote traced to America, but it arrived in pallets. $400 million in cash. To a terrorist organization. Do you know how much you can buy with $400 million in cash? How many terrorists you can pay? Oh my God. He just funded terrorism over there. He just funded it. That makes me scratch my head. That makes me, when people say Obama is supporting the terrorist network, is a terrorist sympathizer, when he does stuff like that and giving the cash, either he's stupid, but he can't be stupid because they say he's the smartest president ever, right? But either he's stupid or it's part of some elaborate plan. It's one or the other. But he can't be stupid. He's so brilliant. If he can't be stupid, then which one is it? It's one or the other. Usually, Occam's razor, the simplest definition is usually the right definition. So which one is it? Either he's dumb or he's sympathizing to terrorists over there. I don't know. I'm asking the question. I really don't know. But stuff doesn't add up. But then there's little things that pop up, like Obama is always protecting. Now, he used to be a Muslim. I get you. He used to be a Muslim. But isn't there a law? And there is. There's a law in Islam that if you used to be a Muslim and then you left. You're apostate. And when you're an apostate, and it says it in the Quran, if you're an apostate, you need to die. Slay the apostates. It says it in the Quran. Slay the apostates. It's like 840 or whatever it is. I forget the actual book. But they say slay the apostates. Well, Obama's an apostate. He used to be a Muslim, and he flipped over to Christianity. So wouldn't they want him dead? Shouldn't Islam, the religion, want him dead? Shouldn't terrorists want to kill this person? But he's our president. So shouldn't there be numerous assassination attempts against Obama? But there weren't. I'm not condoning that. I'm just wondering, why? Like, if you're an apostate, unless you're not an apostate, that's what people ask. People ask me, well, is he really a Muslim? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, the things he does, I know he loved the Muslim religion. He praises it all the time. The beautiful song in the mornings, the call to prayer in the mornings. I know he goes whole hog on that for the longest time. I know he's always protecting Muslims and Islam in the United States and outside of it. Now, if there's you gotta protect Muslims. Can't go. Muslims, peaceful religion. Muslims created this country. Muslims created the United States, by the way. Just so you know, in Obama's history, Muslims created the United States. If it wasn't for Muslims, the United States wouldn't exist, according to the history as written by Obama, the revisionist history. He said it. I didn't. Yeah, I'm just repeating what he said. If it wasn't for Muslims, the United States wouldn't exist. But he protects Muslims all the time. He protects Islam all the time. If you're an apostate, if you've left Islam, why are you protecting it so much? See, I know a lot of people who are born-again Christians. They found Christ. You ever meet those people? There's different types, but you ever meet the ones who have found Christ, who came from another religion or found religion? And a lot of the times they'll ask you, have you found Christ yet? Have you found Christ? Have you found? And they're always talking about Christ. Sometimes it's a bit off-putting. I'm Christian myself, but, you know. But the same thing, I don't like anything forced down my throat. I don't. Most people don't. You know, hey, that's what you believe, rock and roll, brother. I'm good for you. You believe in being a Christian and you love Christ, awesome. But let it go. We're good. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to push it on me because I'm cool. But Obama doesn't talk about Christ. Never does. When people ask me these questions, it makes me ponder. Well, he never talks about Christ. Always talks about Islam. I mean, when he goes to a Christian school to speak, they put him in a room, and early on in his presidency, he covered the crosses with tarps, had them covered with tarps. No crosses behind him covered with tarps. Why would you want to do that if you were a born-again Christian? Or if you're a Christian? If you found Christianity? If you found Christ? I mean, you are apostate. I don't get it. He will not say Islamic terror. Will not. It is Islamic terror. It's Islamic terror, period. If they're making their people, in the most recent, I forget where it was. I think it was in Belgium, maybe? Maybe it was in, it was in Amsterdam. I think it was Amsterdam, the most recent one. And they were telling people, can you quote a verse from the Quran? And if they couldn't, they killed them. Well, last time I checked, if you're making people quote the Quran and then you're killing them, if you're saying Allahu Akbar before you kill people, praise Allah, that's Islamic. And it's Islamic terrorism. Now, is it all Islamic? No. So they say no. I'm sure there are peaceful Muslims out there. It's a corruption of the religion. It's a translation of they're using the literal translation of the book. Slay your apostates. Slay the apostates. Slay anybody who's not Muslim. It's kind of hard to not mistranslate that. But then the Bible says some things that are, pretty damning too in the Old Testament. New Testament's more about forgiving and the teachings of Christ. But the Old Testament, a little bit more violent. And some people read that and take it literally, and they're the kooky ones. And they're the ones that the Christians will say, nah, that's wrong. That's not how Christians work. But isn't that what Obama's doing? Well, yeah. And he may not want to call them Islamic terrorists because of that, but they will call them radical Christians in the media here all the time. So why is it okay for them to call them radical Christians here? Why is it okay for Obama to besmirch Christianity here, but he can't criticize Islam at all? I mean, case in point, during the prayer breakfast a couple years ago, he came out and they were talking about terrorism, and he said, a lot of things happened in the past, and the Crusades happened. The Christians did some terrible things during the Crusades and during the Inquisition, Spanish Inquisition. No. First off, Obama doesn't understand his friggin' history. During the Spanish Inquisition, yes, terrible things were done. Torquemada, Grand Inquisitor, was trying to get Jews to convert and Muslims to convert to Christianity, and he was torturing them until they did so. Okay? That was awful. The Crusades were fought. Pope Gregory, I believe the second, the Muslims took Jerusalem, took over churches, destroyed churches, Christian churches, took over the Holy Land, right? So the Pope said, nope, we're going to fight back against them because they're destroying churches and they're taking over our lands, and he raised a war against Muslims. It was a retaliation against the Muslims. It wasn't just a terrible thing being done. It was a war that Muslims started. Obama, learn your frigging history, not the skewed view of history that you want to believe because it's incorrect and you're misleading people. But when you stand there on a pulpit at a prayer breakfast and a prayer breakfast, Ramadan, does he besmirch Islam at Ramadan? No. But he besmirches Christianity during the national prayer breakfast. What the hell? This is what makes people ask the questions. And what makes me really concerned is that Obama is still going to be, he's not leaving D.C. I'm going to stay in D.C. while my daughter's going to school until she's done school. Let her stay in high school. Then I'll stay. Yeah, he's staying because he loves the power. He wants to be here to put his fingers in things. So Hillary can still be his pawn. So she can run hand in hand and run his scheme to destroy this country. And the problem I have is that you have to ask the question. Is Obama, the people ask me, now I have to ask it after going over all this evidence, and that's only a bit of it. Is Obama a sympathizer with terrorists? Is he a terrorist sympathizer? I don't know. But it's scary because it's pointing toward, there's smoke, there's fire. And Hillary's right there with him, man. She's complicit. All Hillary's about is control and her political career. And she'll do whatever she possibly can do to destroy this country as long as it furthers her own career. That's what she'll do. She's all about the opportunity. And she will wreck everybody she possibly can so she can get the opportunity and have success. And if that means destroying the regular people in this country, if that means turning us over to terrorists, it doesn't matter. She'll do it. Don't think she won't. She's already thrown our allies overboard. She's an absolute fraud. And Obama's right there with her, man. They're hand in hand. They're simpatico. So there you go. There's a lot of questions. I don't know. I think I've stirred up some more questions, but the questions are asked of me, so I had to answer them. Is Obama a terrorist sympathizer? I don't know. It's not looking good. It's scary though. Anyway, that's the update for today. A little bit longer than I would have liked, but we had a lot to talk about. So this is New Independence Network, and have a great day.